What's up, homies? What's up, homies? What's up, homies? Welcome to the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. We pick the brains of industry pros to unlock the trade secrets of homeownership. Our mission is simple: to turn everyday people into knowledgeable homeowners. What's up, homies? Welcome back to the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. I'm Sturdy Joe, and here with me today is Tina Patel, owner of Spaced by T, professional organizer. Welcome, Tina. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love professional organizer because I'm the exact opposite. I'm a professional unorganizer. I am a mess. It's so much work for me. So when we got in contact, obviously, I think everybody could benefit from it. But I think myself, my family, people I know, going to benefit from this so much. So thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate it. So my pleasure. Thank you.
So why don't you take a second, introduce yourself, tell us how you got into starting your own business, becoming a professional organizer. Take your time, tell us.
You know, with organizing, it wasn't something that just fell into my lap or I had this eureka moment, this is what I'm going to do. It was years and years of enjoying it, not realizing how important of a service it is until I think maybe when I was in this seat, and I realized I wish I had a clone of myself. Mm-hmm. Because at that time, I had a corporate career. Mm-hmm. I worked in corporate America. I started out in auditing, went into recruitment, then grew into client relationship management. And I was constantly putting out fires and working a lot of hours. And then trying to balance family time, keeping my house neat, keeping myself healthy. And it just was so hard to keep that to-do list going all the time. And I thought, I wish I had a clone. Because the clone could go and organize all that stuff, or all those Amazon boxes that are coming in, or the Costco shopping haul that comes in.
All the million things that overwhelm us in our daily lives.
Exactly. Yeah. School paperwork, bills, newspapers, seasonal changing. And I thought that, but I didn't think much of it. I just thought, I wish I had a clone, but it's not that easy. Then one day I was sitting outside in my garage, organizing in between meetings. And I'd set an alarm for myself for 12:55 because I needed to go back in the house at 1 o'clock for my call. Okay. And at 12:55, when my alarm went off, I was annoyed. I thought, I don't want to go inside and do this call. Even though inside the call, I was sitting in an air-conditioned house. I was sitting in a cushy velvet chair. It was a virtual meeting, so I didn't even have to really do so much. I was usually scrolling on my phone.
So on paper, better than organizing something in your garage.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was my moment that I realized this is what I actually should do, and this is what people need. I was choosing, and I preferred to be in the chaos around the bugs and the bees and the spiders and the cobwebs and it was a summer day, so it was super hot, and I would have rather stayed outside than go inside and do that call. And I dreaded it, and I realized maybe I should do something more with this. Yeah. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to have my own business, but I didn't know how. And it wasn't something I took lightly. I didn't want to just jump into different things. I didn't want to jump into someone's franchise or anyone else's gym or anything. I wanted to really find something that spoke to me and sort of told my story. I think also growing up, I was a firstborn generation American in my family. My parents, my brother and sister, they all migrated from India here to the States in the 70s. And I was born in the 80s, and then I also had a lot of family come over, and they stayed with us because it's very traditional with Indian families. They're very close-knit, and families live together, and they share homes. And I remember thinking, and I was young then, I was maybe 7, 8, 9, I was thinking it felt really chaotic having so many people living in the house. But especially when I had to do my homework, I would go to the drawer to find the scissors or the tape or the markers or the highlighters, and nothing was ever anywhere that I put it. Yeah. And I found that to be frustrating, and I remember thinking, this just is wasting my time. It's making me mad for no reason.
That's a big aha moment at a young age, because I think people in adulthood don't even realize that they can't focus on the task at hand because of all the clutter in their life.
Yes.
And that's what you noticed as a young age. You're like, you can't do your homework because of the overwhelm in the other area. Even though it has nothing to do with the homework. You can do the math, whatever it is. Yeah, wow. So you had that realization. It was the obstacles.
I'm like, these are such silly obstacles in my way that I should be able to do this. Yeah. But there's this hurry up and stop. And it was so frustrating. And then I remember growing up trying to create organized systems in the house because we had so many extended families staying with us throughout the years. And then it just sort of grew into a habit and sort of like my daily, like how I am. Yeah. I'm just an organized person.
It's just ingrained in who you are. Yeah, you're
exactly.
So organized and like here's my thing. So you organize spaces, but you yourself, like is your phone organized? Is or do you go like that hard on everything? Like is your computer like files organized? Like that's what I imagine and what I'd strive to be like that. So is everything like pretty tight, like as far as organization?
I would say I do have a high standard of organization, and the reason being is because I'm such a stickler for my time. Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste time looking for things, and the more organized I am, the more free time I have.
Yeah, you're getting time back.
Exactly.
We all want more hours in the day, and when you're organized, you're really investing time into getting your systems down, and then it actually buys you back time in the long run.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So that's a really good way to put.
I compare it a lot to hiring a personal trainer for your home. Hiring a professional organizer for your home is very similar to that. Hiring a personal trainer, a lot of us know what to do when we need to go to the gym or if we want to get in shape. We know we should eat better, we should go for a walk, we should lift weights. But do we do that? Mm-hmm. We do it when we have a trainer there holding us accountable, making us doing it, push us. And I feel that it's such a similar idea. If you want to get in shape, it's about putting in the commitment, putting in the accountability, and it's consistency. And it's the same thing with organization. Yeah. You can't get an organized house once and then not maintain it. Yeah. It's the same thing
it's
when
the daily habits of the person living in the house. So the trainer alignment thing that actually makes perfect sense because what I've seen like the fitness world is people are afraid to start because they don't know what to do. They go to the gym, they look around, they're nervous, they're overwhelmed, they don't really know what the next step is, so they leave. And I think with organization, that's the same idea. Is that if I go in my closet right now and it's just full of crap, I don't even know where to start because there's no system for me. I've never really looked into how to organize. So that's where you're saying, so your service comes in, you can actually train somebody and teach them good methods, good processes to get them organized. So my first question is, because I'm very interested in what you do, you had the aha moment, you're like, I love to do this, I should do something with it business-wise. Is this a very popular industry? Is there a lot of people who do what you do, or were you kind of, is there a direct mentor for you or a company you look at where you're like, that's what I want to do? Or were you kind of just taking the skill set you have and learning to sell it like you would sell something else?
To be honest, why I launched this business is because I felt like no one was doing exactly what I was doing. With my background, with my cultural upbringing, and then my corporate experience, but then also being a mother of two and running a household and having a family. And I understood there was so much to juggle. Mm-hmm. And I felt like I would be able to offer that to someone who also is in a similar boat. So someone who's juggling their career, and their career is important to them, but also keeping their home is important to them, or keeping their home organized is important to them. Yeah. This is what I saw that I could offer that not many other organizers. I didn't see anyone doing what I did with the background that I have and with the ideas that I have. Because my focus, it is about organization, but it's also about sustainability and making sure we're becoming conscious consumers and responsible consumption and not overbuying. Like, I'm not the...
That's one of my questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not one. And that's the thing where I say I am different.
Because it's the Amazon world. It's so easy to get overloaded with stuff. And I feel like with the kids, and not to cut you off, we'll go back to the story, but like I feel like my kids have so much more stuff than not even just me, because I was the youngest of four and I got the hand-me-downs and everything, but I feel like even like my wealthiest, most spoiled friend didn't have as much stuff as like my kid and all their friends have. So that probably is really adding to the problem of people who are unorganized is we do have too much stuff.
We have so much stuff. We are like over-consuming like crazy. And then the other thing is with Amazon is a lot of people then think, oh, I have so much stuff, I'm going to go buy bins. But then they buy the bins haphazardly, not measuring, not knowing what's going to go in the bins. What are you keeping? What are you not keeping? What's sentimental? So it's about not just deciding what's keep, trash, donate, but then responsibly storing it. So that way you can reuse things. And I say I'm not a full-on minimalist because again, as a mother, I understand that like some things we need to reuse. So, but there's smart ways to store and save without it.
And I think it's a conversation. Sometimes you got to look yourself in the mirror and be like, am I ever going to reuse this? It's like in this garage, I have piles of scrap wood that I might never get around to using. So it's like if I were to clear
Just
this
in
out, it's like
case.
I got to just say like, am I ever going to really use this? And obviously I'm a victim to that too. But I just want, because you do have a really unique business, and I think it could benefit so many people. We spend money on so much stuff that doesn't really help our life. And like anytime I get 1% more organized, my life improves by 2%. So it literally is an investment. I want you to just clarify like what a typical process is for you. Like I'm going to hire you. I'm going to hire you. What's your like regular service, and what can I really like expect out of that? You don't have to get into like pricing or anything, but just more like if I was like, Tina, I need your help. What does that look like?
Okay, so let's say you wanted my help. The first thing I do with clients, and I will say this, it is always harder to organize your own stuff than someone else's. So if you were to come to my house, it might be easier for you to organize my stuff.
Makes sense.
I sometimes can't even organize it because we get so caught up, like you were talking about that plywood. I would totally throw it away. I have no attachment to it, but for some reason, you feel like, oh, what if? And I know the feeling, because everyone will always say this, but the moment I throw it away, Tina, I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
I was like, but what are the chances of that really happening? Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you want the space or do you want the stuff? I do remind clients, we can't organize clutter. But the first thing I do is when I'm looking at a space is I ask clients, what is here that you don't need at all, that you wouldn't miss? Like what's trash? Let's just get the trash out. So this is like when I start off with like kind of, I call that the editing process.
Okay.
And when we're going through things, it's almost like we're categorizing things and we're deciding, is this keep, trash, donate? If it's a keep, why are we keeping it? Is it sentimental? Is it for future use? Is it seasonal? We kind of figure out the importance of it. Trash, we get it out. Donate, I love when clients are donating things because that is going back into helping others, and again, it's responsible consumption.
We have a good, like one of the churches on Main Street has a thrift store that is like pretty solid, and that's like where everything goes. And it's really funny. My wife has a big family, and they're all thrifters. So like I'll bring something there, and one of her cousins, our aunts will pick it up, and then they'll have a garage sale, and my father-in-law goes and grabs it. Somehow it might end up back here. Longer stories.
I've seen that happen too.
But okay, so essentially, I'm like, Tina, I need your help. We're going to pick a space that we need to organize. I'll be like, my closet's a disaster, and I need to organize this closet. And you're going to come in, and you're literally going to hold my hand through the process of let's organize the closet. So we're going to go through it. We're going to thin everything out. And then now we have everything laid out. We have our 3 piles, right?
Yep.
Now what do we do next?
So what I love about this is that, let's say we were doing your closet, right? I will remove everything. So you are going to see your entire closet like as a brand new canvas. Yes. And also that's why I name my business Spaced, because I want clients to realize it is space by space. We're not going to come in and do the whole house right away. It's a process, just like getting yourself into a fitness regime. Like it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, and it's a process. So the first thing I would do is clear it out so you're able to see what the space looks like, and then you see all your stuff. Now, physically seeing your inventory is really hard on most clients. They're like, wow, I spent this much money, and I bought this for $800, and I've never...
on it.
Right, so much stuff with tags on it. So many things that we buy because they were cheap, because we thought maybe we'd use it, and we don't use it. So that's when we really are kind of like taking a look at your inventory and making decisions. And that's what I tell clients is like, now we're ready to make decisions. And I always say we're going to make decisions fast. When I say keep, trash, donate, if something you're dilly-dallying on, you're not sure, I'm like, well, then it's out. It's out. It's not worth it, right? It's got to be a hell yeah or it's a no. Because there's so much better stuff waiting to come to you, but you've got to release the old stuff and let it go to someone else.
Yeah. I'm a purger. I'm a big purger. I've been like labeled a minimalist by people in my family, and my brother, he's always said this. He's like, if you need a shirt, you go out and buy a shirt. And to me, I don't think I'm a minimalist. I think I'm just practical. Like I like things to have a purpose. Like if I can't use it and I can't see myself actually using it, like it has no value to me, and I will get rid of it. So I have no problem purging, but I'm also afraid, do I just use that as like a anxiety relief process? So it's where it's like, if I need to clean out my closet because it's overbearing, and I just get rid of half the stuff in there. Like, am I over purging? But I don't really, it kind of sounds like probably not, because I'm not using it. So it's probably actually the better way to be.
Exactly.
But I think we all default to keeping stuff, because I even feel anxious that I might be getting rid of too much stuff, which I don't miss any of the stuff I've ever gotten rid of. So.
And I give my clients that cushion. I'm like, okay, listen, if you're really not sure about this, you think you're going to use it, we'll check in 6 months. This stuff, if it's untouched for 6 months, let's get rid of it then. And then you know you're not going to use it.
Okay. And now a word from our sponsor, the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. This foundation is focused on providing alternative career paths for young people other than just college. If you want to learn more about what they got going on and some updates, you can check them out at lookwhomadeit.org. Now back to the show.
All right, so we clean the closet. We can do that in every room. Is there like a follow-up process, or do you have like? Because there's a million different ways you can go into. Because you're also essentially coaching now too. Like, is there? Do you do like a check-in, or do you do like a monthly Zoom call with like, how's our organization going? Is there something like that? Because I feel like there could be something with that too. Because people became unorganized. You help them. And it's like you give a man a fish versus to teach a man a fish thing. You know, is there a follow-up process?
There is a follow-up process. I will check in with clients. It's not like a formal schedule. And sometimes my clients will check in with me and send me pictures and look, I still got it organized, or oh no, Tina, I messed this up. And I'm like, well, just block out 10 minutes right now and I'll text you in 10 minutes. Get it done.
Traditional coach, you're coaching them on how to be organized. Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is about this, though, is that you can be as involved as you want to be. So some clients, because they are so busy, they don't have time to sit with me, and they'll say, can I go do some work and then come back? So a lot of times that's when I say, well, make decisions. I'm like, all right, you go do what you need to do. What I'm going to do is sort through everything, and I'm going to create categories. It might be, here are all your shoes, here's all your jackets, here's all your hats, here's all your T-shirts, and then come back, make a decision, and you see how much of each thing you have, and that also visually helps clients be able to edit better, because they see, oh wow, I don't need 35 hats, I don't need 85 black leggings.
Yeah, so you're laying it out there, and it makes it easier for them to digest. Like,
once it's categorized.
Yeah, because I think the reason that they might have got unorganized is because it's overwhelming to look into an unorganized closet. They don't know where to start. So now laying it out makes it easier for them to kind of start that process.
Because they can see their inventory. That's the thing. When people keep buying black leggings, it's because they forget they have 95 at home.
Yeah. That's I won't even get into it. But there's my wife, like, if she had like a big day of work coming on, she'd go to Express and buy a new pair of work pants. But there's got to be 47 of the same pair of work pants. That was a different thing. That was like a stress relief shopping thing. So I'm fine with it. But I do think that Long Island is an expensive place, and what you spoke about, it probably resonates with most people, is that both people in the household are working. The kids are at school. The kids have a million toys. Amazon makes it easy to buy stuff. The kids have busy schedules. We have busy schedules. I think it's the easiest thing to turn a blind eye to. Like, when I get really busy, I know I'm doing good when my truck is just a disaster. So it's like, when business is great, truck is a mess. When the truck is mint, Joe's been home for a week. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like, it makes sense why this is probably more relevant to people, like the regular person, than ever before, because both parties are working. It's got to be on somebody to do it, but we're like, our whole day is committed to everything else. And it's so easy to just take the laundry and stuff it in the closet. I can do that, and the kids will be fed. I can go to work. Me and you can watch Netflix and chill. You know, like, there's no repercussion in the immediate to close the door and to ignore it. So I do think I go in a lot of people's houses. I'm a home inspector, and people always prep for the home inspection, and they prep for the home inspection by cleaning the kitchen. And unfortunately, like, I got to look in your closet. Everything's stuffed in the closet. Everything's stuffed in the basement. Everything's stuffed in the attic. So I do think this is so relevant to today's household and today's, working parents. But I have a question about that, right? And I think you could take this any way you want, but I thought about it, and it's like, you can organize for somebody once a week, and I feel like people I know would end up becoming unorganized again. And the question is, like, do you think some people are just, like, inherently unorganized? Like, I have bad handwriting. I don't think I'll ever have good handwriting, right? Like, do you think some people just can't be saved?
I think it's not a priority for them. There's other pressing matters that putting time into organization is not their priority, and they don't see how it's going to make your everyday life easier.
Okay.
But I really do think everyone's capable of it, but it's how we prioritize. It's like almost like our health. Like, we could all get in shape if we are able to make that commitment, but it's, what are you willing to do?
There's a deeper like answer, and like what you're saying is like, if you can accept the fact that your life could be better if you make these harder decisions of like putting the effort in to stay organized, that goes with mental health, physical health. Like, it's easy to ignore your mental, your physical health and not realize the bad repercussions of ignoring it until it's too late, and that can be taken in a million different ways. And in the same sense, The organization is the same exact thing. Like I said, it's easy to push everything into the closet.
Yes.
Until I'm having a stressful day, I'm running late for work, and I need to get something out of that closet, and the closet collapses on me.
Absolutely. We're so overstimulated and overworked.
Yeah.
It's insane. And we do really want to overbuy things to kind of like fix these feelings of, oh, I'm not doing enough here, so let me just buy this, and it's like a quick, short fix.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I think a lot of clients that I've helped them realize is we have uncovered so many brand new items that they could return, that they wanted to return and just never got around to.
So one of my favorite things about Amazon, on top of getting it immediately, is you just go to Kohl's now and return it.
Yes.
And it just gets right. It's such a simple. I feel like returning stuff now has been very, very simplified.
It is.
So you're saying you do find where people will have stuff, they never use it, they can still return it, and now they're actually getting paid to.
And they forget that they have it sometimes.
So it's
because,
found money.
Yes.
Yeah.
They find out that, like, oh, someone's coming over. The inspector's coming over. Shove everything into the closet. And I've had clients, around the holidays, I had clients who forgot they bought, like, MacBooks.
Oh, man.
And expensive products.
Yeah,
and, like, I'm in the closet, like, pulling things out. I'm like, this is brand new. Are you going to give this to someone? Or can I have it? But, and they're like, oh, I forgot I bought that. I should return it now. It's...
Yeah. So
it's
on top
that.
of the, like, mental clarity of being organized, there could also be money to be saved with that.
Absolutely.
And then also when you get organized and you realize that maybe you were buying too much stuff, it will help with your budget in the future because you will stop just overbuying.
Yes.
All right, so I think that takes us into a good next question, and it's very simple. Like, are there any tips for someone who needs to break that unorganized, overwhelming cycle? Like, what are tips to break? Because I feel like people get into a bad loop.
Yeah.
Like I said, we can clean it up today, and then before they know it, they're back in that same spot. So, like, what are some tips you can give to somebody to break that cycle?
I have a couple things that I would say, but it does require minor habit changing and, like, kind of like how you change your daily life. So let's say with mail. When the mail comes in, a lot of people just throw it on the table. Throw away the junk mail right away. Put away your shoes. Put away your coat. If you walk into your family room and you see that there is a lacrosse stick and an ice hockey stick and a fishing rod, that stuff doesn't belong there. Put it away.
Very obviously out of place stuff.
Exactly.
Takes a few seconds to do it.
Right.
Just take the few seconds. It actually, if something takes 3 seconds to do it, it essentially takes no time.
Exactly.
Like, you can do it in passing.
And I even tell my clients, like, I'm here to be real. Like, really nothing takes 3 seconds, but just block off 20 minutes. 20 minutes, grab 5 things in here that don't go, put them where they go, or put them where they need to go, or try to find a better home for them.
Start small in your daily routine. Like, yes, we might not be able to rip apart the guest room that we've turned into a junk room. We can organize the foyer. We can keep the kids' shoes where they need to be. We can put our jackets away. We could start small because that makes perfect sense.
And even with mail, paperwork is so overwhelming these days, especially for, like, my clients who are doctors and MPs. They've got so much insurance paperwork and so many credentials that they need to renew and update and recertify.
So they have important paperwork.
Yes.
Yeah. See, for me, I probably could take every piece of mail and not look at it and throw it away because anything important at this point I've got mailed to me. Like, I feel like most of my mail is just like the medical break, like my insurance telling me what they laid out for.
Right.
This is not a bill. We just paid $20,000 for your kid to get, a flu shot, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's like most of my mail I can throw out. So I like that one too because I'll get in the routine too where I'll bring the mail and put it on the counter and it will sit there for a week. And then when I finally go through it, it's all going in the garbage. So it's like if I just would have just done that from the beginning.
You could have done it in the beginning, yeah. The thing is with the paperwork, what I always say is, let's pull out the things that are time sensitive and that need to be paid.
Oh, cool.
So, like, if we have a pile of paperwork and someone's like, how am I going to go through this? I'm like, we're just going to pull out the stuff you need to take care of in the next 3-5 days.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll worry about the other stuff after we got that. And then we'll
prioritize.
It's just chipping away at it.
Okay, so start with the small things. That's definitely a good way to start breaking that cycle. Is start with the small things.
And time-sensitive things.
And time-sensitive things, okay. All right. I find this to be a little funny, but I do feel like this is the perfect way to put it. Like, is a hoarder your final boss? Like in Mario, Bowser is the final boss. Is a hoarder your final boss? Like, do you think you can go into like a hoarder's house who wants to do better, just they're a hoarder? Do you think you can save a hoarder?
Okay, so by definition, a hoarder is not someone who would want my services. But let's say there is someone who has hoarding tendencies and wants to change and is ready to take that change. Yes, I can help them.
Got you. So that's the most important.
That is the important. You have to want to change.
There's a deep psychological connection between all of it's their stuff. Because again, I go into people's houses and hoarders. I mean, you go down this block, you see some beautiful houses, I guarantee you one of them is a hoarder, and that's their stuff.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense, is that they need to convince themselves it's time to clear some of this stuff out before somebody like you, and then you can come in and just block out a whole weekend to do it, and you can then organize and have a great garage sale, and you'd probably get the most satisfaction out of that.
I
before
love
and
it.
after would, you'd sleep like a baby for a week.
And I've helped clients with like short-term solutions for, like, let's say their house was overpacked with stuff.
Yeah.
And we had to get some stuff out because we knew that this isn't complete junk. It's not stuff to donate, but it's stuff that we could sell, and it was a lot of stuff. So we ended up renting a temporary storage solution. We put all the stuff in there, and then I helped her throw 2 yard sales. I brought in an appraiser to buy like some other things, and she ended up making a lot more money than it cost her to hire me.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was a great.
Yeah, that's like a total like triple win story.
Yeah, it's like when I come in, I'm coming in to help you with multiple solutions. It's not just about, okay, I'm going to trim this all down and buy the containers that are going to fit in this closet and stick labels and then just get everything into the containers. Yeah. I'm not trying to do that whole Pinterest thing. I'm really trying to make that change in your home so you feel the difference. Like, you feel why it's important.
You had the end result of the benefit of being organized. Like, in your stressful life, you saw when you stayed on top of things how much of a personal impact it had on you. So that's really what the organizing is, the labor of it. The end result is the improvement in their quality of life.
Absolutely.
Like, to get deep about it, but I see it. I have people, like I said, I am very unorganized. I just have no problem, like I said, purging, and I like to work. So, like, if I have free time, like, I don't mind going through things and in, like, my dumb guy way, like, here's my shirts, you know? Like, I have a very, like, you would laugh at, like, my closet because it's like, here's all my Star Wars stuff,
I want to see
it. you will write
Send me pictures.
You'll write me an invoice right away. You're like, all right, this is how much it's going to be. I'm going to usher you out because my wife's like, you need to have the organization lady come to our house and organize everything. I was like, we will eventually, I promise. Yeah, but I was like, I need to have her on the podcast first because after she goes through our stuff, she's gonna be like, I can't deal with these people anymore. Because you'll come back for the podcast and the house will be a mess again. That's why you would hate us. You'd work so hard and then it would be a mess again. But all right, to circle back to the hoarder thing, and I think you kind of half answered it where it might be too deep, where it's a deeper psychological thing where people want to hold on to their stuff. So like, if I noticed somebody was getting like hoarder-like tendencies, but they're not acknowledging it, it might not be as simple as like, hey, let's do some proactive organizational things. Like, there's something deeper going on when you see people holding on, like filling up a shed full of stuff that they don't need.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, when I do have clients that sort of are kind of rolling into that hoarding tendency, it is because something traumatic has happened to them. They may have lost a parent or a sibling, and they were trying to find some sort of like short-term joy. So they bought and bought and bought.
There's a dopamine release to their stuff. Because I've seen it before, like I said, in houses where it's like there's garages full of junk and like the person like is like, that's my stuff. Like, please watch out for my stuff. And I'm like crawling over garbage and it's like, this is your stuff. Oh,
some people keep garbage. And then some people are buying such quality items but with no purpose, just for the purpose of feeling good that they bought something. And then it sits there unused, and their money's spent. So it's...
well, shopping addiction is becoming like a super... people...
I have some clients with shopping addiction.
And Amazon enables it really. It's so easy to buy stuff.
My God.
And one tap to pay.
Yes.
So shopping addiction has become like a serious thing.
And this is why I talk about the returns, because it's just keep, trash, donate, but also what's getting returned? What can we get off of our bills and back into our pockets?
That's really interesting. It makes sense now you saying it. Like, we definitely buy too much stuff, and there's probably, even in my house, there's stuff that I think I have like a tally of things that I need to like go to Kohl's and return. So like, I'm intending on returning it, but I still even haven't done it because I haven't committed time to doing it. So that's really interesting.
But you have the awareness, which is good. You know you need to do it. It's not something that you've forgotten about.
I try my best. I'm not great, but I really do. I really put a good effort into it. Well,
hopefully today it'll motivate you.
It definitely will. So we're going to wrap up in a second, but I do want to ask one question too, because I'm sure there could be something like, are there any good resources that somebody could use to improve their organization, either being books, podcasts, like YouTube videos? Obviously following you will help. But like, is there anything out there that like somebody likes to listen to an audiobook? Is there like a book about like organization or anything like that you'd recommend? Or is this all homegrown, like everything that you've done is just from your own trials.
I mean, personally, this is why I launched the business, because I don't know if anyone does exactly my method.
Nice.
And like I said, I'm not someone that's going to encourage my clients to go out and spend a ton of money on bins, because I know our life evolves, even as a mom. Like, my kids are in a bottle phase, but then they're going to be in the sippy cup phase, and then they're going to be in the little cuppy phases. So like, I understand investing in products and bins on top of my services, it adds up. So I try not to do that to clients and try to find really simple solutions. But I would just say, try to be mindful of what is adding value to your life. If it doesn't add anything or doesn't serve a purpose, someone out there is dreaming of it or thinking about it and wanting it and can't afford it. So think about how you're giving back to someone
that's a good
that
way to break
needs
there,
it.
because people definitely hold on to things because they don't want to waste it.
Yes.
Like, I've seen even people when they talk about like food, they're like, it's going to waste, and they'll eat it just to eat it. And it's like, even the bugs will eat it in the garbage. Somebody's going to benefit from it. So you're saying even with their stuff, if they can rewire their brain to be like, all right, me donate, because throwing it out, but if they go and donate it, because most of our stuff is softly used, you can donate it.
Absolutely.
It's a good way to hack their brain, is to realize you're actually paying it forward. You're helping people out.
And I like to paint that picture into clients. Like, I know I had a client who had a ton of kitchen appliances, and I said, listen, there's probably some culinary student out there that needs a KitchenAid and needs this like bamboo cutting board and all these mixing bowls and can't afford it because they're in school. And then they walk into a thrift store and see all of this. Like, can you imagine if that was your stuff that did that?
That's really cool. Yeah.
So,
that makes sense, because I think that people need to have that realization when they refuse to let go of their stuff.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. I mean, we might have to do a closet reorganization episode. I feel like we can get so much good content out of that.
Oh, yes.
And you also need to write a book. I think I just decided right now, because I ask you if there's resources out there. You're like, nobody does it like me. I think you might have to go on ChatGPT and write a quick book.
That's actually really funny, because I do think about it sometimes, and I would title it The Insect Life.
Nice.
Because I feel like we're humans, so we have the ability to think how we want to think and do what we want to do. And insects, they don't have authentic thoughts. But we do. We don't have to just buy everything and fall into the seasonal things and
follow the habits.
Yeah,
and
you
go in these loops. We get in a lot of loops.
We can make our own decisions and choose how you want to live. You don't have to live how other people are living.
Maybe by the time this drops, The Insect Life by Tina Patel
will
be released on Amazon.
Stop living the insect life.
Awesome. So we're gonna wrap up, but just take a second. Plug your Instagram. Tell people where to find you.
Sure. My name is Tina Patel. You can find me on Instagram, spaced_by_T_. But if you type in the word spaced by, it'll probably come up. My website is www.spacedbyt.com. I'm on TikTok as The Funny Organizer, and I'm on Facebook as well, and LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
I'm going to go inside and organize my closet right now. I'm
going to follow you. Just kidding.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay knowledgeable.